Hello, and you are here listening to the MBA Schooled 8 Things to Do Before You Start Your MBA webinar. My name is Al D. I am the founder of MBA Schooled. I'm excited to talk to you today and to give you some actionable tips about what you can do before you start business school. Just as some background, I'm the founder of MBAschooled.com, and I started MBA Schooled back in 2015 to help prospective and current MBA students understand how they could maximize their time in business school to achieve their career goals. You can find me on Twitter as well as you can connect with me on LinkedIn. And before I go any further, I just want to give a shout out to my upcoming book, MBA Insider. This is a book that I've written that combines what I've learned on MBA Schooled with some great research that I went out and did talking to current MBA students and alum about the MBA experience. And in this book, you'll get a how-to guide for how to navigate business school. There are detailed explanations and insights of the key elements of the MBA experience. There's great strategies and tactics, as well as examples for how to navigate these key aspects, such as your academics, your internship recruiting, as well as career development. There's some great stories as well from over 60 current former MBA students about how they use their time in business school, and then plenty of lessons learned and actionable advice. So make sure to check out this link to get your copy of the book on Amazon today. So before we jump in and get started, I think it's important to set some context about business school. And, ultimately, it really is a one-of-a-kind experience. And I want to tell you why. First and foremost, you're surrounded by very smart, driven, and talented classmates. You're going to be in an environment where you're going to be around people who have diverse backgrounds, but all come in with very strong capabilities in those backgrounds. And those experiences are going to really add a lot of value to your own experience in the classroom as well as outside of the classroom. But it's going to be an environment where you're surrounded by high-performing peers. Secondly, it's unique because there are so many resources to learn and try new things. This, in top MBA program, not only are there opportunities for you to get involved or to try new things, but in addition to that, those resources are there to help you to learn from those experiences. But this could be the faculty, this could be administrators, this could be the various centers that exist in the university that you have access to when you're there. But it really is a unique time to really try and experience new things that you're interested in. The third, the cost of failure is low. Certainly an MBA is expensive. It's, a lot of money and tuition. But when you're trying something in business school in that environment, even if it doesn't work out, you can learn from it, or you could go and try something else. It's a lot easier and the stakes are a little bit lower than per se of doing it on the job. And then last but not least, business school is a time for reflection. So too often we kind of get caught up in all the busy work of our daily lives, right? And particularly if you're someone who's career focused, you're really focused on executing. And one of the great things about business school is that it gives you time to actually think and reflect. Think and reflect about what you've done, as well as where you want to go in the future. And this is something that is really unique for a lot of students because it gives them a chance to do this, and they really haven't gotten that chance before. And while business school is unique, it can also be overwhelming. As when I talk to MBA students and alum, there's some common themes that I hear over and over again about why business school can sometimes be overwhelming. First and foremost, it really does go by fast. It's 2 years, and that may seem like a long time, but it moves quickly. And, the key takeaway here is that it's really important that you're prepared from the very beginning so that you can handle the fact that it's going to go by so fast. And I think part of the reason why it goes by so fast is that you are so busy because there really is a lot that's going on. You have classes, you have recruiting, you have extracurricular activities, you have time to network and build relationships with your classmates. Common phrase you often hear is drinking from a fire hose, and it really is apropos for many MBA students. The third thing, and very much in line with there's so much going on, is that there's so many great opportunities. And that is the reason why so many students go to business school or a top MBA program. But it can also be a catch-22. Because of the fact there's so many of them, it can be really hard to figure out what to choose or how to do all the things you want to do, etc. And last but not least, FOMO, or the fear of missing out, is real, right? This is something I hear over and over again when I talk to students. And it's very common to feel like you're missing out on something because you choose not to go because you have something else that you're doing. And that can be really challenging for people to grapple with. But what I'm here to tell you is that all of these are very valid, but I think with a little planning as well as a little foresight, these are things that can be overcome or worked through. And so what I want to do now is to talk to you, prospective students, about the things that you can do before you even start your MBA program that will not only help you achieve some of your goals, but will also help you avoid or navigate some of the challenges that I just talked about. And so I want to go through 8 of these things right now that if you do these, it will make your experience that much better. So let's start with number 1. And that is all about getting into the business mindset. Business school, you're going to be reading lots of materials about, you guessed it, business. And so, for some of you who are career switchers, some of this terminology or some of the language or just some of the volume of reading that you're going to be doing is going to be a lot different than what you experienced before. And I think a really great thing to do beforehand is just kind of getting into the mindset of that, right? So it can be very simple things like reading the Wall Street Journal every day, so you get in the notion and an understanding of kind of the core principles of business, things like finance and accounting and quarterly earnings and the like, as well as start following email newsletters and start reading them regularly that are business oriented. Axios is a great one, or if you have a particular industry you're interested in, start reading blogs or email newsletters. If you're interested in tech, that's a great, as an example. Maybe you want to start reading Ben Thompson's Ben Thompson's Stratechery blog or The Information as well. Those were all great examples. But very first thing you can do before you start getting in that business mindset. Second thing is you can look for a pre-MBA internship and take a pre-MBA internship. These are starting to become more and more popular, and it is what it says it is. It's an internship. It's an MBA internship before you go to business school. And this is a great opportunity to test out something that you think you're interested in and help you get closer to get faster to understanding if this is something that you do want to do when you graduate, or if you want to do it for your summer internship. Now, the reason why I think this is important to do as early on as possible is that realistically, if you want to do one of these, you have to factor in the fact that you'll need to quit your job, you'll need to actually find an internship, and then you'll actually need to do it. So this takes a little bit of planning, which is why I think it's really important that if you are interested in this, you get on this right away. But this could be a really good opportunity for you to get exposure to something you're interested in, whether it's paid or unpaid, and just give you another experience under your belt. The third thing is just getting ready for recruiting. One of the most common things that I hear time and time again from students is just how quickly that recruiting starts. And this is particularly true for fields like consulting and investment banking, where the recruiting in your first year for summer internship starts very early, but it really is true for everyone else as well. And, I think what you can think about here and what you can do here is that you can do things like read your school's employer reports from the previous year to understand what placement looks like. You can look up the timelines for recruiting for the particular industry or function that you're interested in to get a better sense of what your year is going to look like. And then certainly, like, a very tactical thing is getting the resume template from your school. All the resume you worked really hard on for business school. Well, your school is going to make you put it into one of their templates that they prefer to have for all of their students, most likely. So go reach out to the career center at your school, figure out what the template is, and start building that so you don't have to do that when you get to campus. The fourth thing, which ties in with getting ready for the recruiting, is being able to reflect on your work experience. I think one of the great things about the MBA admissions process is that it does force you to reflect a little bit about what you've done and where you want to go. But don't just stop there. You're going to need to really know your work experience inside and out, because when you get to campus, you're constantly going to be doing informational interviews or networking events where people are going to ask you about what you've done in the past, your work experience. Or you're going to go to interviews where they're going to ask you behavioral interview questions where they say, tell me about a time when you've done X, Y, or Z. And so the better you can know your experiences, the better informed you can be for those conversations that you know are going to happen. So one example of something I tell people to sometimes do is to create a brag book, right? And all this is just a highlight reel of some of the best things that you've done in your past experience so far. And these can come in handy, again, for those informational interviews or for any networking opportunities you might have or any interview you're going to be doing down the road. Number 5, real simple, save money. Business school is expensive. Tuition is expensive. But in addition to tuition, there's plenty of other things that you're going to need money for, whether that's for room and board, housing. But in addition to that, if you're thinking about taking any trips or doing any travel, this is to be factored in. Many schools like Booth or Kellogg have, kind of sanctioned pre-MBA trips. Kellogg has Quest and Booth has Random Walks. If you're interested in doing something like that, that certainly is going to be an additional fee. So start saving money. Note, I'm not a certified financial planner, so caveat emptor, take it for what it's worth. But it never hurts to have money available so that when you do get in these situations, you feel prepared. 6, brush up on your quant classes. This is really important, particularly if you aren't familiar with concepts or classes like finance, accounting, or macro or microeconomics. Some schools will make you do this or make it conditional on your acceptance. Others will have optional camps that they have. Yale has one, UNC Kenan-Flagler has one, a couple other schools have them. But if you're not familiar or if you're struggling with quant or you did on the GMAT, this would be good to do so that when you do get to that first semester, when you have to take, accounting and finance and economics at the same time, it doesn't totally feel foreign. This is really good to do. The 7th tip is to review your student clubs and activities that you might be interested in. Most students are involved in some student club or activity to some capacity, whether that's a member or as a leader. And there's probably a couple you probably learned about through the recruiting process or the admissions process. But once you get to campus, you'll have a chance to kind of meet all the clubs. And while it's really great, it can also be really overwhelming. And so if you can kind of come in with an idea in mind of the ones that you're most interested in, it will help you get to quicker decisions. So check out those club websites or talk to second-year students who are affiliated with those clubs. That will be really helpful before you get started. And then last but not least, spend time with your friends and family. What you're going to be doing for the next couple of years is going to be it's a really challenging but really rewarding experience, but it really is going to consume most of your life. So if you have time now, make sure you spend the time with those people because it will be challenging to do that over the next couple of years. And furthermore, I also recommend if you're someone who does like to keep in touch with friends and family, think about how you can kind of do that once you get to business school, whether it's penciling in time during the week to call them, starting a group text with your friends to kind of keep them updated of your whereabouts, whatever you have to do. But it really is going to be a really great 2 years, but it really be 2 years really focused on you. And so you may not get as much time to kind of connect with your current friends and family that you have now. So those are the 8 things that you can do before you start business school. And again, if you want to learn more about some more things you can do, as well as if you want to learn more about how you can make the most of the MBA experience, check out MBA Insider. You can go to this link right here so that you can get your copy today. And if you liked what you saw in this webinar and you want some more insight, you can certainly check out the book. You can go to mbaschool.com where you can see the blog and learn about what other MBA students are doing in business school, how they're transitioning careers, how they're signing up for clubs and being involved in student clubs, and many other things. And in addition to that, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what MBA internships are like, you can also check out this link where they download an ebook that gives you insight into some research I did where I interviewed 100 MBA interns last year, and they told me a little bit more about what their experience was like. So thank you again for joining. I hope this was really valuable, and please check out these resources. And best of luck as you prepare for your MBA experience.